Quick teaser. I never thought falling for a billionaire would cost me so much. I found out secrets he buried deep, and when I exposed them, he did the unthinkable. He tried to buy my love back with millions. This is my story, raw, real, and untold. I never imagined I'd be sitting here, telling this story. Not because I don't want to, I do, but because it's not easy. It's raw, complicated, and it changed everything I thought I knew about love, trust, and power. I'm just an ordinary woman, someone who's always tried to live honestly, work hard, and keep her heart open. Nothing about me screamed drama or scandal. Yet here I am, sharing what happened when I got involved with someone whose world is filled with secrets, money, and influence, a billionaire. That's the truth. And this story is my way of reclaiming my voice, my truth, and maybe helping someone else who feels trapped in a situation they can't easily explain. I'm sharing this now because I can't keep it inside anymore. So many times, I wanted to stay quiet, to protect myself, to avoid the spotlight. But the weight of what I know, what I lived, is too heavy to carry alone. If you're watching this, maybe you've faced a situation where love wasn't as simple as it seemed, where you discovered things that shattered your illusions and made you question everything. Maybe you've been hurt by someone you trusted or felt powerless in a relationship because money and status seemed to control the rules. I want you to know you're not alone. This story isn't just mine. It's about all of us who have ever felt lost in a world that values wealth over truth. Before I go any further, I want to ask you for something. If you're here and ready to listen, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I promise to bring you stories that are honest, real, and unfiltered, stories that don't just entertain, but connect with you on a human level. Stick with me through the whole video, because what I'm about to share will surprise you, maybe even shock you, but it will also give you a glimpse into a side of life most people never see. This isn't just a tale of love and betrayal. It's a journey of courage, standing up for what's right, and finding strength when it feels like everything is falling apart. I won't sugarcoat anything. I'm going to be honest about how it felt to fall for someone so powerful, how it hurt to find out the truth, and how hard it was to walk away when that truth could have destroyed me. But I also want you to see the hope, the growth, and the strength that came from facing those challenges head-on. This story is filled with real emotions, the fear, the heartbreak, the anger, but also the freedom and the clarity that came after I decided to speak up. So, if you're ready, stay with me. Because this story isn't just about a billionaire or the millions he tried to use to win me back. It's about finding your voice when the world tries to silence you and choosing yourself, no matter what the cost. Thank you for being here. Let's get into it. I still remember the day I met him like it was yesterday. It wasn't anything fancy, just a casual event, something I almost didn't want to go to. I was living my life quietly, working hard, keeping things simple. I wasn't chasing anyone's attention, especially not someone from a world so far away from mine. But when he walked into the room, there was something about him, his presence, the way he carried himself, that made it impossible to look away. He wasn't just wealthy, he had this calm confidence, like he owned the room without trying. At first, I thought it was just a crush, something exciting but fleeting. He was charming, funny, and attentive in a way I hadn't experienced before. I found myself drawn into his world, the luxury, the attention, the grand gestures. It felt like a dream, like suddenly my life had been pulled into a movie. I wanted to believe that maybe love could be simple, even when it came wrapped in silk sheets and expensive dinners. But beneath all the glitter, there were moments that felt off. Small things I tried to ignore. Late-night phone calls, vague answers, unexplained disappearances. I told myself it was just his busy life, the pressure of success. After all, I was falling for the person, not the money or the status. I wanted to believe the man I saw was real, that the love we shared was real. Little did I know, That was only the beginning. What I didn't see then were the secrets lurking beneath the surface. Secrets that would change everything, including how I saw myself. Being with him felt like stepping into a different universe, one full of glitz, glam, and endless possibilities. At first, I was amazed by it all. The fancy dinners, the private jets, the weekend getaways to places I'd only ever dreamed of. It wasn't just the money. It was how effortlessly he moved through that world, like it was made for him. I was swept up in the romance, the excitement of being noticed and cared for on a level I hadn't known before. But as time went on, the shiny surface started to crack. There were moments when the charm faded, and I saw something colder beneath. He was distant at times, and sometimes his attention felt like it came with conditions I didn't fully understand. I noticed how quickly the mood could shift if I said the wrong thing or asked too many questions. It was like walking on a tightrope, never quite sure when I'd lose my balance. Still, I wanted to believe in the love we had. I told myself that every relationship has its flaws, especially one caught between two worlds so different. I wanted to see the man behind the billionaire, the one who could be vulnerable, who could love me without all the power and wealth. But then came the red flags. The little things I couldn't ignore anymore. Secretive phone calls, unexplained absences, and a feeling that I was only seeing part of the picture. I kept pushing those doubts aside, trying to hold on to what I thought was real. That's when I started to realize that falling into his world wasn't just about glamour. It was about losing myself. The moment I found out the truth, everything changed. It wasn't planned. I wasn't looking for secrets or drama. It just happened. One day, something didn't add up. Maybe it was a slipped conversation, a message left open on his phone, or a strange phone call I overheard. Whatever it was, suddenly the world I thought I knew started to crack, and I caught a glimpse of a side of him he tried so hard to hide. The secrets weren't small things. They were deep, messy, and darker than anything I expected. It felt like the man I loved was living two lives. The charming person I thought I knew, and another version, hidden away from the world. I wrestled with disbelief. How could someone so close to me keep this much from me? I felt betrayed, confused, and hurt all at once. But the hardest part was what to do with what I'd learned. I was torn between loyalty and truth. Part of me wanted to stay silent, protect him, and maybe protect myself. But the other part, the part that refused to be a pawn in a secret game, knew I had to speak up. I wasn't just exposing secrets for the sake of drama. I was standing up for who I was and what I deserved. That moment was a turning point. It wasn't easy, and it came with fear. Fear of losing him, fear of being judged, and fear of what would happen if the world found out. But I knew that carrying this burden alone wasn't an option. I had to face the truth, no matter the cost. And that decision set everything in motion, everything that would change my life forever. There was a moment when I realized I couldn't stay silent anymore. The secrets I uncovered weren't just about him. They affected so many people, and staying quiet felt like I was part of the problem. But deciding to expose the truth wasn't easy. It felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing the fall could be dangerous, but also knowing that turning back meant living a lie. I remember the nights filled with doubt. What if no one believed me? What if this destroyed my life? I was scared of the backlash, the whispers, the judgment, even threats. But more than that, I was scared of losing myself in the silence. I had to be brave, even when everything inside me screamed to run away. Gathering the proof was another battle. I couldn't just rely on what I knew in my heart. I needed facts, evidence that would hold up, something undeniable. It took time, patience, and strength I didn't know I had. Every step closer to the truth felt like peeling back a layer of myself, exposing wounds I thought had healed. When I finally decided to speak out, it wasn't just about revealing secrets. It was about reclaiming my power. I wanted the world to see me, not as a woman who was fooled, but as someone who stood up against lies and deception. The The moment I went public, everything changed. Some doors closed, others opened. Support came from unexpected places, but so did criticism. That breaking point was the hardest part of the entire journey. But it was also the beginning of something new, a chance to rewrite my story on my own terms, without fear or regret. And even though the road ahead was uncertain, I knew I had made the right choice. The moment I exposed the truth, my life turned upside down. It felt like the ground beneath me gave way, and suddenly I was standing alone in the middle of a storm. People had opinions, some supportive, others cruel. The media grabbed the story, twisting it, turning it into headlines that made me feel like a target instead of a survivor. Friends distanced themselves, unsure where I stood. Even strangers felt entitled to judge me. But the hardest part wasn't the public reaction. It was the silence from the one person who mattered most. The man I once loved went quiet, pulling away even more than before. No apologies, no explanations, just a cold distance that made the truth feel heavier, more real. It was like everything I believed in had crumbled, and I was left to pick up the pieces. I won't lie, there were moments when I felt completely lost. The loneliness was crushing. I questioned my decisions, wondering if exposing the secrets was worth the pain. But deep down, I knew I had done the right thing. Truth had a power that couldn't be silenced, no matter how hard anyone tried. Surprisingly, some people came through when I least expected it. Strangers who reached out with words of encouragement, others who shared their own stories of heartbreak and strength. That support became my lifeline, reminding me I wasn't alone. I started to rebuild, not just my life, but my sense of self. The fallout wasn't just about losing a relationship or facing public scrutiny. It was about discovering who I really was when everything familiar fell away. And through that chaos, I found a strength I didn't know I had, a strength that would carry me through what came next. After the truth was out, I thought that chapter was closed, but it wasn't. What happened next surprised me in ways I couldn't have imagined. He didn't just disappear or stay silent, he came back, but not with apologies or promises. Instead, he tried to buy my love back. And I'm not talking about small gestures, I'm talking millions, money, gifts, luxuries beyond anything I had ever seen before. At first, I couldn't believe it. The man who once made me feel special now thought he could fix everything with cash. There were offers, houses, cars, trips, even large sums of money handed over, with the hope that I'd forget the past and return. But love isn't something you can put a price on. No amount of money could erase the betrayal or the pain I felt from his secrets. I remember feeling angry, confused, and oddly empowered all at once. He thought he could just pay me off and everything would be fine. But I had grown too much for that. I wasn't the same person who once fell for his charm without question. Saying no wasn't easy. It meant rejecting not only the money, but the idea of going back to a relationship built on lies. The offers kept coming, each one bigger than the last. But I held my ground. I realized that true love isn't about wealth or power. It's about respect, honesty, and trust. And if those things aren't there, no amount of money could ever bring someone back. That chapter showed me my own strength and self-worth. It taught me that sometimes the hardest thing you can do is walk away. But walking away is also where your freedom begins. Looking back, I realized that this whole journey was more than just about a man or money. It was about me, finding who I really am beneath the layers of love, pain, and secrets. When everything fell apart, I had two choices, to let it break me or to let it make me stronger. I chose the latter. I learned so much about my own worth, how it's never something someone else can give you or take away. It's something you have to discover and hold on to yourself. Walking away from that billionaire, from all the wealth and glamour, wasn't easy, but it was necessary, because no amount of money can replace peace of mind or self-respect. This experience taught me the power of truth and how important it is to stand by it, even when it feels scary or lonely. It showed me that love isn't about how much someone can give you, but how much they respect and value you, something that couldn't be bought or sold. Most importantly, I found my voice. I realized that my story mattered, that sharing it could help others who might be trapped in similar situations, feeling lost or silenced. I want anyone listening to know that you are stronger than your circumstances, and you deserve to be seen and heard for who you truly are. Today, I'm proud of the woman I've become. Not because I exposed secrets or stood up to a billionaire, but because I chose myself when it mattered most. I'm no longer afraid of what people think or say. I'm focused on my own happiness, growth, and freedom. If there's one thing I want you to take from my story, it's this: never settle for less than you deserve. Your worth is priceless. Before I let you go, I want to say this: if my story resonated with you, if it gave you even a little hope or strength, please take a moment to like this video. It helps more than you know. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I'll be sharing more stories, real, raw, and honest, that might just change the way you see your own life. I know what it's like to feel powerless, trapped, or silenced, especially when love and money get tangled in ways that confuse and hurt you. But I also know there's power in standing up for yourself, in choosing truth over comfort, and in finding your own voice no matter what the world throws at you. That's what I hope my story shows, that no matter how big the obstacle, you can come out stronger on the other side. If you've ever been in a situation where someone tried to control you with money, power, or secrets, I'd love to hear from you. Share your experience in the comments below. We don't have to go through this alone. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is speak up and support each other. Remember, your worth can never be bought or sold. You deserve honesty, respect, and love that lifts you up, not tears or silence. And if you ever feel lost or uncertain, come back to this story, to this moment, and remember the strength that's inside you. Thank you for listening, for believing, and for being here with me. This is just the beginning of a new chapter, for me, and hopefully for you too. Stay strong, stay true, and I'll see you in the next video.